Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Genetec Advantage program webinar this afternoon. We'll start the webinar in just a few moments to make sure everybody has a chance to log in. Hi, everyone. For those of you just joining us, we'll start the webinar in just a couple of moments and give a chance for some more people to join. Hi, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday today. Why don't we go ahead and get started with the webinar presentation this afternoon with regards to Genetec Advantage program. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Abby-Jo Belanger. I've been here at Genetec for about 2 years on the Advantage team, and it's my pleasure today to present to you the deeper details of the Genetec Advantage program. So why don't we go ahead and get started with the slideshow this afternoon. And we'll start with the agenda for the presentation. The Advantage features and benefits that are included in our program. So we'll start off with a bit of information for the support regarding the premium telephone support. We'll move on into software upgrades, the system availability monitor, and then we'll move into some of the complementary benefits that come along with the Advantage program, the technical consultation hours, Stratocast camera connections, the Genetec Cloud Archives, the Security Center mobile apps, camera integrity monitors, and then we'll move back over to some of these support pieces of the Advantage program, the 24/7 support option, global Advantage contracts, federation licenses and how Advantage is put with those federation licenses, what the fees are, custom solutions. We'll also discuss a little bit about reinstatement fees, deeper discounts with multi-year Advantage contracts, the renewal notices and how often they're sent off, as well as where to go to find on the GTAP portal the system reports and the those complementary benefits. So why don't we go ahead and get started then with the premium telephone support. So premium telephone support is offered to those customers that have a valid Advantage contract. Telephone support is available for those who are calling in. You will need a valid certification number as well as a system ID. And you can either use the telephone support or go through our chat services on the Genetec portal. Telephone support provides our customers with a premium collaborative support with advanced troubleshooting. And what we mean by that is if you're on the phone with one of our support representatives and the challenge is a bit more of a technical nature and the person on the other end may not be able to answer all of your questions, they will bring a professional resource online to be able to answer your questions and help resolve any challenges that you're having so that you're able to respond to all of your needs on that telephone support call rather than having a call back. The premium telephone support, it is offered in multiple languages, and the 3 main languages being French, English, and Spanish. Premium telephone support provides faster resolution for complex issues, and like we mentioned, with in-depth troubleshooting from our advanced product experts. Any need for patches or hot fixes, if it's required, can also be obtained while you're speaking with the support person on the phone. Next up would be the software upgrades, and the Genetec Advantage contract includes both the minor and major releases. So the SR1, SR2, SR3 within a version, as well as the major versions. So we've just moved from 5.8 to 5.9 this past spring. So those customers with a valid Advantage contract would have access to that latest and greatest release. And why we say the software upgrades are so important and we include them with the valid Advantage contract. Well, we want to ensure that the performance improvements with the software is helping the performance improvements with the hardware investments. So lots of IT departments are under heavy constraints with regards to their budgets. And so when they're making those hardware investments, we want to make sure that they're getting the most out of them as they can. Security improvements to make sure that your system stays compliant with ever-evolving security requirements. So we know that software security is always evolving, and so we're moving right along with it, as well as usability improvements to make things easier for the operator to be more efficient with the software, just to make things a little bit user-friendly. as well as third-party integrations to increase security ecosystems. The System Availability Monitor, or the SAM, also comes included with the Advantage program. And what the SAM does is it allows the operators to visualize alerts for the common technical issues as they're occurring on your system. So it's the system's health check, and you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, there's a bit of an example taken from the dashboard of the SAM. It's easy to use, so it's user-friendly for the operator to be able to view any sort of alerts that are coming due to identify potential risks or issues that are happening with that system. It can be remotely monitored with real-time statistics on system uptime and downtime. We'll move into a bit of the complementary benefits for the Advantage program, and we'll start off with the technical consultation hours. So customers can receive up to 40 technical consultation hours, and those are provided directly from our professional services team. The amount of complementary technical consultation hours is calculated based on the annual Advantage MSRP value of the contract, and that's calculated in US dollars. The eligible consultation hours can be redeemed through our GTAP portal, and I'll show you a little bit later on in the presentation how to go and take a look to see if your customers would be eligible for those technical consultation hours. I did reach out to our professional services team just to get an idea of what you can book appointments for with them with regards to those complimentary hours. And they came back with a nice little list for me, so I'll share that here with you on the next slide. So this is an idea of what you would reach out to our professional services team for. So if you're looking for consultation on system health check, best practices for the Genetec Security Center application, perhaps you need some consulting for the installation of the Genetec Security Center app, transferring Genetec Security Center applications to a different or a new server. Maybe you're planning for an upgrade. So since, again, we just mentioned that we moved from 5.8 to 5.9, perhaps customers are looking for an upgrade to the latest versions, and you might need some planning and assistance with that. So our professional services team can help you. There might be a migration from the Omnicast to the Security Center, Synergis access control deployment, specific Genetec Security Center feature configuration. Maybe there's an upgrade or a transfer and you need some planning assistance for the Genetec SQL database, and hours applied to a PS project. There may be things on here that they can still help you with that maybe are not listed on the list right here in front of you. The best way to find out if you can book an appointment for something that may not be on the list here would be to reach out and just find out with regards to, reach out to our professional services team to see if they would be able to assist you with planning or consulting using those complimentary hours for the customer. Another complimentary benefit that comes included with the Advantage program would be for a customer to receive up to 100 Stratocast standard camera connections. They can be used with the existing or new cameras. Again, the amount of the complimentary Stratocast camera connections would be calculated based on the annual MSRP value of the Genetec Advantage contract in US dollars. And once again, you would visit the GTAP portal to be able to view how many cameras a customer would be eligible to receive correlating to their Advantage contract. The Genetec Cloud Archives would also be another complementary benefit, and customers can receive up to 100 terabytes of the Genetec Cloud Archives for off-premise storage expansion. Once again, the amount of complementary terabytes for the Cloud Archives would be calculated on the annual MSRP value of the Genetec Advantage contract. And these can also be redeemed through the GTAP portal. The next slide will show you the dollar value of the Advantage contract on an annual basis in MSRP USD, and as it correlates to the amount of complementary benefits that the customer would be entitled to receive. So if we take a look all the way over to the right-hand side of the table that's presented to the technical consulting hours column, you'll notice the 40 hours here for the Advantage contract for the $180,000 mark. That's on an annual basis. However, if a customer comes and says, I'd like to purchase a multi-year contract, for example, if they say, you know what, we're interested in the 5-year Advantage contract. We know that we get a bit of a discount with regards to a multi-year contract. So we're looking at a 5-year contract. We would calculate and make sure the annual dollar value with reaching $180,000. They are eligible for that 40 hours per year. And then we would say, well, if they're looking at a 5-year contract, we'll multiply that 40 hours times the 5. So they end up with a total of 200 technical consulting hours for the term of their Advantage contract. We don't recommend using the entire amount of hours for that they would receive during the first year. We do recommend that you do spread those hours out over the term of the contract, just in case there are transfers or there's migrations happening further down in the multi-year contract term. We'll move on to one of the more recent benefits that's been added to the Genetec Advantage program. It's the Security Center mobile applications. So this allows customers to monitor their Genetec video surveillance and access control systems from their mobile devices. So from their cell phones, their tablets, their laptops. Customers can receive up to an unlimited number of mobile app connections with Security Center version 5.8 or greater. Again, this would be calculated the same way as the other 3 benefits were calculated, using the annual MSRP value of the Genetec Advantage contract. Since this is a more recent benefit that's been added into our Advantage program, we're working on having it added to the GTAP portal, but presently you would need to reach out to our customer service team. And you'll notice on the bottom bullet, the customer service email address is customerservice@genetec.com. Here's a quick table to give you an idea of the dollar value of the Genetec Advantage contract and how it correlates to the amount of complementary mobile app connections that a customer could receive. And the next complementary benefit that's included would be the camera integrity monitor. And customers can receive up to 128 camera connections. And again, it's available with Security Center version 5.8 or greater. The camera integrity monitor is basically a camera, it alerts the operators for camera tampering. So if there's a decrease in the image quality, an abrupt change in the camera position, the operator of the system will be alerted. So for example, if there's a camera that's in an ATM vestibule and someone comes in and spray paints the camera, that automatically decreases the image quality. And so there is an alert sent out to the operator. Once again, this one is not found already on the GTAP portal. We are working on having that added. But you do need to reach out to our customer service team at customerservice@genetec.com in order to redeem this complimentary benefit. Here we have a table with regards to the Advantage contract for the MSRP USD value on an annual basis and how it corresponds to the amount of complementary camera connections that a customer could receive. We'll move over into a bit of the support piece, and we'll start with the 24/7 support option. With the 24/7 support, they do require a valid Advantage contract, and the fee for that 24/7 support option would be based per contract. So for example, if you have a customer that has 2, 3, or 4 systems listed under one contract, they're not charged for those systems individually. They're simply charged a flat rate for the contract itself. This support option does not need to match the current Advantage contract period, but we do ask that there is a minimum of a 3-month requirement for the term of the support option. And the 24/7 support is available as an emergency option. So for example, if you have an install happening over the weekend, you see that weekend's coming up and you're thinking, you know, I could really use some extra support just in case something happens. I could really use that option to call in for support. You can definitely get in touch with us. We'll have that 24/7 support enabled for you, but we do need a written commitment to purchase that minimum 3-month term. The Global Advantage contract is aligning many different contracts into one for a particular end user. So if you have, for example, one end user that has 5 contracts spread out and they have different end dates for the Advantage, and you want to simplify things for your end user, the best way to do that would be to create or have a Global Advantage contract created. So that simplifies things for the partner and for the end user to have one end date for that Advantage contract rather than have 4 or 5 different end dates all over the place. Once again, that 24/7 support option is based per contract. So if you've got an end user that has 4 or 5 different contracts and they're looking at potentially purchasing the 24/7 support, they'd have to pay per contract. So if you were to put everything into a global contract, it's no longer 4 or 5 fees for that 24/7 support. We're looking at 1 fee under that one contract. And one of the best benefits for the global contract is the increase in the MSRP value for that Advantage contract on an annual basis. If you're increasing the MSRP value for that Advantage contract, now you find yourself or the end user eligible to participate even more in receiving those complementary benefits that we just went through. And with a Global Advantage contract, the Federation the Advantage on the Federation licenses could then become waived because of the amount of camera licenses or reader licenses on that contract. And we'll go over the Federation licenses here on the next slide. So Federation is centralizing the monitoring and reporting and alarm management across multiple security center systems. So for example, if you've got a customer that has multiple locations and they want to centrally monitor everything, so you've got a location in New York, one in Boston, maybe potentially one out in Los Angeles, and you want to centrally monitor everything, that is what the Federation systems is. We're monitoring everything to one head end. The Advantage fee is based on the number of Federation licenses, unless there are other connections such as Omnicast or Synergis. If the Federation system has more than 5 camera connections, then the Advantage fee on the Federation licenses is waived. And then we're taking into consideration the Advantage on the camera connections at that point. So if all federated systems are on a global Advantage contract, then the Advantage fee on the Federation or federated licenses is waived, excluding, of course, what we just mentioned, the Omnicast or Synergist. With regards to the custom solutions, presently we're trying to align the Advantage on the custom solutions to match that of the core Advantage contracts. So again, just to facilitate things, make things easier for the partner and the end user to bring everything into one common end date rather than have a couple of different end dates and trying to figure out or keep track of what's coming up due for renewal. We'll move into the renewal piece a little bit here for the Advantage contracts. So we like to send out at least 3 renewal notices. Those are auto-generated and those go out including the quote. So there's a notice that has a quote attached to it for renewal. The first one is sent out 90 days prior to the expiration date on the Advantage contract. The second is 30 days prior. And then the last being on the actual expiration date of the Advantage contract. We also do reach out a couple of times as well via email. Usually we were reaching out in the month that the Advantage contract is expiring. We'll send out a quick email just asking, are you aware that this is expiring? Do you need any assistance with perhaps a new quote, or is there anything else that's required in order to help bring the renewal of the Advantage contract in? And then usually we'll follow up once again a month or so afterwards after it's expired. For those customers looking to purchase more than 1 year at a time of the Advantage contract, there is an advantage, there is a benefit, I should say, for that. There is a multi-year discount structure in place. So for the first year, if you're just looking to renew for 1 year, the partner discount is what applies for that quote. And then if you're looking for anything 2 to 5 years, you see that there is a deeper discount the more years that are purchased here. That discount is already bundled into the price on the quote when you receive it. So if you're reaching out and you're saying, the customer is interested in a 3-year, then that extra discount on top of your partner discount is included in the quote when you receive it. The multi-year term is an upfront commitment for the entire amount that's listed on the quote. So if you're looking at purchasing a 5-year renewal on the Advantage contract, we're not spreading those payments over the 5-year term. That needs to be, that price needs to be on your purchase order, the entire amount when you send it over for that multi-year renewal. Now, as many renewal notices that we send out, as many emails that we send, and as many touches as we try to make to ensure that those Advantage contracts do get renewed on time, there are some that do fall through the cracks. We know sometimes, not everybody gets to everything. Sometimes some things get left by the wayside, or, even end users are like, what? We don't want to renew. We don't want to have that Advantage contract. And then, whoop, a year later comes by, and then all of a sudden, what? That Advantage, we really liked it. It was super fantastic. Wow, the benefits in there, just golden, just love it. We want to renew. Well, I don't know what we were thinking a year ago. Well, there could be reinstatement fees that could apply. However, if we take a look at this table all the way over to the right-hand side, we're going to notice that there is a waiver condition, and it's a multi-year contract. So anytime that customer, that contract falls by the wayside and they want to renew, yes, there could be a reinstatement fee. However, there's always a waiver condition that's included in there. And, you know, if they're looking at purchasing Advantage again, the 3-year, 5-year, those get, you know, the deeper discount that we just went through on the previous slide, they get a better deal. So it's always within their interest to purchase the multi-year. And once again, sometimes, you know, we have, it did come up a little while ago that, you know, sending the 3-month renewal notice out sometimes just isn't far enough in advance. Sometimes, you know, partners are looking to see something that's 4 months out, 5 months out, 6 months out. They know that there's a, you know, a larger opportunity out there. They want to start working on it. They want to know what that quote is for renewal. And they didn't receive the renewal notification yet because it's too far out. There is a way that you can go in, run a system list, take a quick look, and see what's coming down the pipe. Or potentially there's something that's just passed and you can't recall what's just passed, that Advantage that might have just expired. You can go to the GTAB portal. You can select technical assistance, and from that drop-down menu, you can find the system management, which will run a system report for you. You would scroll down to generate system report, run your mouse over that until the button turns red and select. This will run your system report for you, and that system report includes the system ID, the end user information, the begin and end dates of that Advantage contract. It includes the number of cameras and readers that are listed within that contract. So it has all kinds of good information for you to be able to reach out and say, you know what, this should get renewed, or this, you might need an extra few camera licenses or reader licenses on that system. We noticed there's something in there. So it's a terrific report, a terrific place to go. Another terrific report to run would be in that same area under technical assistance. You scroll past the system management and you go on down to the Genetec Advantage benefits. That report will run for your customers or for you to be able to view for your customers those 3 complementary benefits: the technical consultation hours, the Stratacast camera connections, and the cloud archive storage. You'll be able to view in there which customers are eligible for which benefit. And from here, you would also be able to redeem those benefits. And this is all found in the GTAB portal. And that brings us to the conclusion of our Advantage presentation this afternoon. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome to type them in the question box, and we'll be more than happy to answer them for you. You can also send emails to our Advantage team at advantage@genetec.com. I'm more than happy to get back to you with any questions that you have with regards to the benefits, or perhaps you need a quote. Anything at all, we'll be able to help you out.